Live on DAZN Worldwide, April 26th, Eubank Jr. versus Benn. 30 years of rivalry and hatred.
I do hate him.
All comes down to this. The next generation, a new destroyer. For family, history, legacy. Eubank Jr. versus Benn, April 26th. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on the Zone. Was you going to say them? Was you going to finish my sentence?
Yep.
Available on?
Everywhere. YouTube.
Look, we knew Benn was going to start fast and sharp tonight. Didn't know it was going to be that successful. Though round two, Blitz Liam Cameron, you must feel amazing right now.
I do. I have to say I do. October 12th was a dark night, particularly for Fraser Clark and for Benn and everything, and just ending up in that hospital. It was the Fraser one in particular. Was I genuinely questioned whether I wanted to be in the sport. I can say that now. I was thinking I'm not sure about how I feel about it. So to see them both come back, particularly Fraser from that point of view, was really emotional because you know, a lot of people are saying that maybe he wouldn't box again. So that was special. But then Ben Whittaker, the pressure, the abuse, the stress, the mocking, everything that he's been through, people are still going to hate him. I get it. But there's a human being in there. There's a 27-year-old in there that had to deal with a lot of things. And I'd had conversations with him and I knew how difficult certain times were. And the fact that he was able to still come in, still dance, still perform, still do his ring walk, even though everyone wanted to drag him down, people wanted him to fail. You could feel people wanted him to let it get to him and collapse, and he didn't. And he was strong, and he did that. And fighters, I've said before, toughen up over their careers. I was saying to Carl Froch then, he was telling me in his 12th fight he fought for a Commonwealth title, and he headlined, and it was the first time in a local thing, and it was 3,000 people. It wasn't like that, but it felt massive to him, and he can only imagine headlining on Sky Sports Easter Sunday in an arena like this with a sellout like this, the pressure, everything. There won't be another fight with as much pressure potentially in his whole career. So unbelievable performance, showed us exactly what he should, really, from a talent perspective, and delighted for him.
You were always confident that he was going to do the job, but being honest, did you believe he had that in him? Even if it was down to the toughness of Liam Cameron, or did you believe he had a round two stoppage?
Absolutely, but it was there. You don't know how people could handle what happened and whether he could deal with the pressure at that level, and he can. And he's a special person to be able to deal with that. I work with Eubank Jr., and every time he comes out, the two Manchester Arena events, to a chorus of abuse and this and that, and he is ice cold. And he's learned over a period to be ice cold. And Ben has a big heart, and he's an emotional person, and it's so early on. Could he be ice cold in that moment? That's what I needed to see, and he did it, and he delivered, and I'm so proud of him. Honestly, I don't care from a business point of view. Just incredible for him.
We know it can be a fickle sport and people can U-turn quite quickly. Like you said, he walked into a chorus of boos. Do you think next time he walks into cheers or a crowd more on his side?
Absolutely. I think, let's be honest, Liam Cameron was a beautiful story. It's the underdog story of a great person as well. And naturally, when I watch football, I always want the underdog to win. Always. And in boxing it's the same. Like, you want that underdog story, you want that. And after the first fight in particular that felt an injustice, you definitely want him to win. And Ben's the flashy one that seems to have everything going for him. It was
He plays a good villain,
and he plays a great villain, but it was clear, you know, who people would want to win in that fight, and he dealt with it like champions do. And I'm so happy for Liam Cameron, because we have changed his life, and he has changed his life, and everything. It's almost a happy ending, I believe, on both sides. So Liam's done fantastic, and next time I'm sure, but he'll remember this, because you know, people reveal themselves in situations like that. I'm really glad it's happened. So glad October 12th happened. I didn't know. It was like we were promoting a guy that we were trying to get out there, and suddenly we were trying to stop people getting in. It had gone crazy. Like, the attention was mental. I'd never seen anything like it. Obviously, I'm a young promoter and we deal with a lot of fighters, but I'd never seen someone with demanded that much attention. And it was almost like, how can we keep this guy level-headed, focused on his boxing? And it was almost the impossible job until something like that happens. And I'm so grateful for it. And it's setting him up now for an unbelievable career, and he's going to be the biggest star in boxing.
What happened in the corner? We saw Benn put his head out. Clarification, there was no spitting. I don't know where that come from. Grant took a little swing. It was a bit handbag style stuff. What, from where you were, did you see? Just
a lot of emotion. Obviously, I don't know if it was Grant in particular, but they have been winding him up all week. Pictures of wheelchairs before he goes out and things like that. It's like, it's not... And there's been a lot about his heart and his quit and who he is as a person and this and that. And I think it was obviously just a lot of emotion for a young man at that point. And once he calmed down, everything calmed down. And they were good sports. And Grant, as you said, clarified the situation, who we all have a lot of respect for as well. So much ado about nothing.
Yeah. And that's why he was crying, bursting into tears up there at the post-fight presser.
Yeah, as I say, he's got a big heart. He's an emotional guy. He's almost too... Sometimes I almost think, and this might sound crazy to people that watch him online, but sometimes I used to think, you're too good of a person to be a fighter. I mean that sincerely. He's emotional. He's got a heart. He loves people around him and this and that. And that's why I was like, can he be ice cold out there?
Are you going to get to see that now, though? Because I feel like a lot of people wouldn't think of what you're saying when they think of Benn Whittaker.
Yeah, because...
Or is that just based off October 12th?
He's not... Listen... He plays the character well. He is a flashy guy. He likes to entertain, but there's a human in there, on a deeper level that's completely different to that, and that's what you saw come out. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard as a young guy, and maybe he doesn't communicate in the way that whatever it is, ultimately. He garners a huge amount of attention. He's going to have to get used to the criticism, and he got through it. I think it was just relief that I can deal with this. I can deal with anything that they throw at me, and he'll be able to deal with that now for the rest of his career.
Final one. You said to me before we sat down at the presser the other day, you said, if I lose the 2 in 2 weeks, I'm retiring from boxing. So at least you're not retiring, because one's in the back.
Well, people will be upset now.
So.
No, it was
Frank was hoping tonight that you might be running out the sport by next week. But,
I know, he was tongue-in-cheek, but it was, look, as I say, October 12th was a horrible night. See Fraser and Benn come back in the way that they did, and the way that we know they can was obviously special. And I'm looking forward to doing the double. I'm looking forward to Chris winning next week. I'm looking forward to Vidal winning next week. Hopefully Chris Bill Smith as well makes his comeback. But in all seriousness, as I said up there, this is just a job, but when you see guys go through what they go through, and their families as well, because it's so draining for everyone, and then you see them turn it around, that's a special feeling. Money can't buy that. That you lives with you for the rest of their lives, and yeah, I'm just happy for them.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, April 26th, Eubank Jr. versus Benn. 30 years of rivalry and hatred.
I do hate him.
All comes down to this. The next generation, a new destroyer. For family, history, legacy. Eubank Jr. versus Benn, April 26th. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.